Well, I've got that metallic green on there, and you can see how I've allowed the blue to be the frame. But now we're going to layer on some other colors, and now we start doing more of the daubing effect. I don't want as complete of a coverage as I have here with the next color because I want it to interact with that color a lot more. What I'm going to go with next is this iridescent copper. This is a Liquitex color, and this is going to bring out a lot more vibrancy and really stand up on top of the other colors. So I get another little palette thing out here, and I've shaken this up. Obviously it's been a while since I used it, so a little dried bit on there, and not much. The next step too is going to be, since I want it to lay on top a little more, I've gone away from the brush and I'm using a Q-tip. This is just a plastic bodied Q-tip, and it doesn't really matter. I like this one here because you can see it's got a little flat to it, and I'll use that to help lay the color on top. So I'll charge it up a little bit here, and since it's not a brush, it won't try to travel down into those little pockets. It'll lay on top a little more. Let's try it out here where maybe it's a little easier to see. And I'm going to start lightly and then bring it out more as I want to use it. So this is just starting to lay on top, but you want to maintain control, so you don't want to go too quickly until you get a feel for how it's layering on, and then start putting it on. Now you can see I'm brushing this on mostly on the surface, just to lay on the surface and give a little depth to that area that I just laid on with the metallic green. This is going to really enhance the metallic look of this whole area here. Again, this is iridescent copper, and I want it on in a sort of a mottled aspect. Not very high tech, but effective. If there are areas that get more coverage than others, in this instance, that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm going to add another color after this. It's after a while it becomes a matter of knowing when to stop, but I want a little bit of action on this piece. So I think what I'm going to go with after this is I'm going to drop some gold to just give another layer. And hopefully you can see how that's coming out. And you can also see how the metallic green is showing through it, and that will, with the modeling effect, give you variations depending on your angle that you're viewing it on, because from one angle more of the background will come out than another, and it'll really have a nice look to it. I'll continue with this, and I'll get back with you later on some of the final steps. Well, now that color has dried, and I'm ready for what I think will be the last color on this. I'm going to go with a pearlized gold. This is a by Createx. It is a airbrush color. These are nice and thin typically, easy to work with. Again, I'm going to use the Q-tip method. And put some on the little palette here. And this here is just going to be a highlighting effort. So charge up the Q-tip a little bit. And I want to go slow with this so I can bring out the effect that I'm after without overshooting it. This will sort of model up the surface, and it also, even though it's just a little bit, it really has the effect of lightening and increasing the effect of this metallic look. It just brings a lot more light to it after that copper. You see I'm using this to mostly just pick the high spots. High spots meaning the areas of that pyrography that physically stick up. This is a good way too if you find some areas of that copper that seem to be a little bit strong. You can put this around it on top of it, and it helps knock it down a little bit so it doesn't overwhelm the surface area. And as you can see, it's starting to give a nice effect. So I'll be finishing the piece up with this, and then I'm more or less done. So you see it's come quite a ways from when we started.